The new Harry Kane has signed for Tottenham. And why do I say the new Harry Kane? Well, we've got a lad right here that has never won a trophy. Check. Has grown up an Arsenal fan. Check. And now he's going to be joining Tottenham Hotspur, and that is Solanke here. Solanke is going to be going to Tottenham for 65 million, a record fee for the club here. And this is actually a bit of good business here from Tottenham. And obviously, the reason why I was saying that he was an Arsenal fan, he came out in this interview
Would have probably been Arsenal.
saying that as a childhood, in his childhood, he became an Arsenal fan growing up. But now it's kind of interesting because he's joining Arsenal's rivals, which is Tottenham. 65 million for the 26-year-old striker is great business in my opinion, because last season Bournemouth had a really good season and he was the head of that charge. He scored 19 goals in the Premier League, and obviously he wasn't getting the best service considering he played for Bournemouth, which was a team that was predicted by many to get relegated. And he ends up scoring 19 goals, and Bournemouth finished, mid-table, a lot higher from, 18th, right? They end up in the mix of being around Chelsea, the likes of Chelsea, who invested $1 billion euros in their transfer windows the past year prior to that. So this lad going to Tottenham, I think, is a huge upgrade from what they had. Richarlison right here. Last season was absolutely pathetic considering the fee that they paid, which is around 60 million. 1 goal, 3 assists. Pathetic. Now, the following season, 28 games, 11 goals, a lot better, right? But for the 27-year-old, I believe there's a lot of baggage that comes with Richarlison, considering his off-the-field stuff. And you might be saying, oh, it's not completely terrible, but he has a lot of antics, in my opinion. He's not really a Premier League starter as well. He's very inconsistent. He's injury-prone as well. I believe he's a good backup for a top 6 club, and Tottenham is trying to be a top 6 club, right? Last year they were fighting for top 4. They end up getting 5th, and to be able to stay in the top 6, you have to make upgrades, and I believe they have with this Solanke lad. 38 games, played every single game. The best type of the best type of skill is availability, and he was available for all 38 matches for Bournemouth this season, which was crucial, and then being able to overachieve. And then he ends up getting almost 20 goals, over 20 goals and assists. And, in my opinion, this is a great business for him. He's 26-year-old as well. He's English, so there's a bit of an English tax on him. I think this is great business, and it's a step up for his career going to a club with European football from Bournemouth. Now, this is going to be a heavy hit for Bournemouth because you're going to be losing 19 goals from last season, and I could see Bournemouth possibly going down, and I could definitely see Tottenham fighting for top 4 now and getting top 4, because consider Arsenal and Man City will be in the Champions League next year. There's no doubt about that. But 3 and 4 are wide open. Liverpool getting a new manager. Could he fall out of the top 4? I genuinely believe yes, because it's his first season being in the Premier League, and you're going to be in the Champions League. Considering the new format, there's going to be more games as well, so it's going to be hard for him to manage in his first season. Aston Villa, first time in the Champions League in a long time. They've done great in the transfer window, but obviously there's a change in the Champions League format, more games, and you're going to go from just the Premier League, right, and the Conference League, which you didn't really have to prioritize considering the level of clubs you're going to be playing. Now you're going to be playing against the best of the best, right? Probably in pot 4 as well. And that means you're going to be playing a lot harder teams. And not only that, a lot more games, like I just said. So they could definitely fall off. And then, you were 5th place. Man United have an injury crisis yet again, another season consecutively. And then you're going to be looking at Chelsea, who are just bringing in more and more players, but don't have a plan solidified. They just bring in random talent. They have no solid plan. And I could see Chelsea having another terrible season, considering, they've picked out a manager from the championship that obviously won the Championship League, right? And then not only that, you end up with a bunch of random players. You're going to tell me all the transfers they've done, over 40 players in the squad, and there's a plan set? You're moving as if you were a Champions League squad worried about you having too many games to be played next season, considering, like I said, that's a factor. There's too many games next season. But instead, Chelsea's going to be playing the Conference League. And they've got over 40 players. And they're still transferring. They just bought Neto. You'd think these lads, it's absolutely insane. They sold Conor Gallagher but bought like a bunch of other players. It's absolutely pathetic what they've been doing, Chelsea, in my opinion. They really have to start letting go some players, because You've got seven goalkeepers. Why do you need seven goalkeepers? You're not even in seven competitions. Absolutely atrocious there. But enough of that. West Ham have done well. I could see them competing in Europe. So yeah, all these clubs right here are, and Newcastle as well. They're not going to be in the Champions League, but they've been quiet in the transfer window. Yes, but I could definitely see them making a push, seemingly just because they are not going to be in the Champions League, and I believe that did take up a lot of their resources and a lot of their players' stamina and fatigue, so they didn't perform as well in the Premier League. But I can see Tottenham getting top four. And this is from an Arsenal fan. I genuinely believe with the new manager they have, he can be hard-headed. They had trouble with corner kicks last season, but I genuinely believe that Tottenham will get top four if, they could manage a way to get that front three going with Heung-min Son and Solanke up top. And then obviously you have the likes of Kulusevski and etc. on the other side of the flank. And it's going to be very interesting what happens here. But this is a great replacement. You finally have a proper striker from Richarlison. And I'm interested on how Ange is going to handle this and how he's going to push for top four next season. But anyways, make sure to leave a comment down below what you think about the Solanke transfer. I think this solidifies them as the fourth best team minimum in the Premier League. And that's coming from an Arsenal fan. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.